There he is. There he is. This silence is brought to you by loud noises.
I'm just looking at this merch. Okay, those beanies are pretty cool, but to be honest, I prefer a lighter color wave.
What do you mean? It's like light
I
gray.
prefer a darker color wave.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There you go.
Really?
Look right there. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't mind them, but the thing is, like, I like beanies, but the thing is, I don't run in beanies that often unless, like, I really like it, and the RPI beanie has, like, a palm on it, like the little fluffy thing at the top.
Yeah,
which
so
I
does
really
the Baldwin
enjoy.
Wallace beanie that I have.
And then the other thing is that I also now have this running hat from REI where it's literally a hat but also has like ear sleeves and it keeps your head like the perfect temperature. So like and I don't wear beanies like for fashion. Like I'll just wear like a nice hoodie and that's it. So I don't plus not to mention like I live in Washington, right? So like you got to remember that I'm not really getting cold enough to justify a beanie as much as I was in college. So
I keep forgetting you went to college on the East Coast.
yeah, so like my needs for cold weather gear are not as high as you guys anymore, or at least I don't need it as often. So what I do have gets the job done, and that's what I care about. I got 2 really nice beanies and a sick warm running hat, and that's good enough.
With that, we welcome you to episode number 7 of the Unattached podcast. I'm Spencer Mahon.
I'm Shreyas Sriram.
And Tyler Bowman's muted again, probably.
What? and I'm Tyler Bowman.
I knew he was.
I was because I had to clear my throat while you were talking about the beanie.
That just reminds me of the whole like chocolate rain. I had to move my voice away from the mic to cough.
On today's episode of Will We Ever Have a Good Intro?
That's the intro you're being stuck with. Us talking about the Tin Man merch, which drops when we're recording this podcast tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Well, I'm gonna edit this tonight and put it up tonight because I won't have time over the weekend. So.
Oh, okay.
All right, so
it wasn't gonna be a quick edit. We can't pause or anything. We gotta just go for it.
This is a quick boy turnaround for the upload.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take over then. Starting off this week, we had Russia banned again. Again.
What haven't they been banned from? What at this point? What hasn't Russia been banned from? War.
Trading with the United States.
And war. That's about the only 2 things I can think of. There's protests on the Nike Beaverton campus that involve Alberto Salazar's name, and again,
Russia definitely hasn't been banned from interfering with U.S. elections either. Go ahead, keep going.
Big facts. That being said, there's protesting on the Nike campus due to the name on a building which involves Alberto Salazar. Again, this is your weekly reminder that Alberto Salazar is the biggest sack of shit that the human race can provide.
So they staged a walk?
Yeah, they did stage a walk. We'll talk a bit about that a little later on in the podcast. Donovan Brazier and Dalila Muhammad are USATF Athletes of the Year. Taylor Warner ran the unofficial collegiate record, I believe. We're going to talk some NXN, especially since Nico Young's an absolute baller and he looked like a god on the course at Glendevere up there in Oregon. Pacemakers winning marathons. CIM, since it was this past weekend, had hella OTQs. I believe that number was 102, 67 women and 35 men. And then, of course, we got the classic Let's Run threads of the week.
Indeed.
Perfect.
So, we're going to start with training recaps, as we always do.
Tyler.
Okay, so last week, after I said that I was feeling better, I was not feeling better, and I did not run because my body was rebuilding itself. Monday, I started up again. Today's Wednesday, by the way, for people who are listening. Monday night, I ran 3 miles. Tuesday night, I ran 3 miles. Tonight, I will go to the gym and run another 3 miles. And I think I'll just do that until Sunday. And then I'll run a little bit more than that. And I'll probably end up doing some variation of that next week, too.
Very nice.
Shreyas, you're up.
Yeah, we've really got the pause game on lock. I think we talked a little too much before the podcast. Yeah. I did. When are we're comparing from last Wednesday, right? I think.
I believe so, yeah.
Whenever the hell we recorded. Yeah. So back end of the week was pretty tame. I think I pretty much said as much last time. I had a weird little knee issue, so I couldn't get into week 1 of training as wholeheartedly as I wished I did. But after that, felt a lot better with the added rest. Rolled out. I think the legs can't handle just sending bullshit races as workouts as well as they used to, given that I'm not at least doing like mileage of some sort. But we're fixing that now. So Monday, I did a little loop around my house, and my watch said 3.98, and I swear to God, it's gonna piss me off because I did it again this morning, and it said 3.99, so it's actually not 4 even. And that's just gonna piss me off for every single time I run it now. I think I'm just gonna have to like add on a little loop somewhere.
Well, do you start in your driveway?
I start in my driveway and I end in my driveway.
Like all the way up by the door?
Like perfect. Yeah. Like we're talking like right up to the garage door. That's why it was 3.99 this time.
Oh man.
And yeah, so big.
Don't
rip.
run the tangents on one of the turns and you'll get over 4.
And then, well, I really have no option to, because like some of it's on like shitty road, and then on the sidewalks I'm running as wide as I possibly can. So
run on the other side of the road.
Well, yeah, but then I have to deal with more stopping with signals. No one likes stopping.
I used to run past my past my driveway into my backyard sometimes to get the extra like 0.01.
I would do that. I do that all the time.
So there's an option for you. Just walk in your back door instead.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, I mean, then I'd have to leave like the gate pre-unlocked. Like it's not. Yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't really matter though if you go on a long run and get like 0.05 more.
Well, yeah. I mean, because this is like my 30-minute run loop from my house. This is like my shakeout loop. So like the purpose of it isn't like for a full run. It's just to like get going. Because normally if I don't run, in the evening, like I've been running the past couple weeks, in the morning I normally add on a loop on a trail nearby, which cleanly makes it like about 5, if not more. So like it's just this. But yeah, so there's that little bit of pissed offness. Yesterday I was supposed to do a workout with a friend, but I had the worst sleep of my goddamn life, and which I mean isn't terrible. It's on par for the course, but like this was worse than usual. And I'd been getting back on it. Like I'm not having insomnia or anything, but it was just terrible. And then I woke up like absurdly hungry, which was really weird because I ate the night before at like 9. So it did not work out with him, sadly, but ran later in the day. Did 5 by mile with about a quarter mile jog at Feel on the roads, which I've never done a workout like that on the roads. I always do it on the track. So it was a bit of a different sensation, but I got comfortable towards the end. We went about 5:55, 54, 48, 46, 45. So I was hoping
solid.
to do like all of them between 5:40 to 5:45. Like that would have been ideal. I mean, I'm not surprised they're all a little bit above, but also like for my first time doing it on the roads and trying to minimize how much I looked at my watch, because I think because the course is marked off every half mile, so I only looked at my watch at the half mile and mile mark. So for that, I'm pretty pleased that effort got me towards the right pace towards the end, and I kind of opened up. It was great. Yeah, that's all I got. And then, yeah, today I'm going to abuse myself in the gym. We've got legs. I'm looking forward towards not walking tomorrow. It's going to be fantastic.
So you're just trying to absolutely obliterate your legs, just max weight, max reps, everything.
Today is all I'm going to see. The plan is we're taking it real strategic here. We're going to start off with doing one round of like the big exercises like bench, deadlift, squat, all that shit. Doing 5 by 5. And then after that, I'm going to do what I normally do, which is get an hour kind of slowish on the bike, like just relax, just to get like that low heart rate, fat burning effect. You know how it is. And then after that, do all the high rep, low weight shit that's all like running specific to get that muscle endurance, and then work it all till failure. Like just do drop sets on fucking everything till my muscles are just like, no, fuck you. And then I'll end it off by hopping in the pool for like a probably anywhere between 200 to 500 meter swim, and then getting in the hot tub, and then passing the hell out, because that's my plan to get my sleep back on track, is to just beat the shit out of my body to the point that it desires rest.
There you go.
Yeah.
That sounds insane.
Yeah. It's going to be fantastic.
Usually when I go to the gym, it's like 45 minutes of lifting and then 30 minutes of running, and then I'm out.
Yeah, that's normally what it is, but with me heading to Atlanta in the next couple days, which is for random reasons that I'm not feeling like explaining again, yeah, like I figure I'm not going to get much running done over there, what with having to deal with family, friends, and yeah, airplane stuff isn't going to be fun, no gyms, so I figure might as well just do it now and get it over with. Give myself 4 days of fitness in one, which is definitely how it works. And yeah.
Clearly how it works.
Yeah.
If people listening to the podcast didn't already know, you are a traveling man.
Yeah, sort of.
A world traveler. Well, United States traveler, I guess.
Spence, how was your week?
Oh, really good. Really good. Last Wednesday, medium long was 13. Did that in 6:45. I talked a little bit about that on the last podcast, I believe. Thursday, I just kind of stuck it out at home and did a loop around my neighborhood. It involves multiple developments because I live on a cul-de-sac in between developments off a main street. So I just used the main streets to loop through some developments and made a loop out of that. This loop also kind of bothers me because I mapped this out in my head to be about 7 miles. And every time I come back, it's anywhere from like 6.8 to 6.9. I'm like, son of a bitch. So sometimes if I'm doing a 7-mile loop, I'll end up finishing in the cul-de-sac of my street, which is about 250 meters up the road. So that's never fun. And then I end up walking back to my house and I'm like, this is stupid. I wish it was just 7 miles. Friday.
Don't walk back. Just turn around early.
I hate doing that even more though.
What?
Really? Why?
Yeah, I'll get to my house, like I'll pass my house at like 6.86 or whatever, and I'll turn at 6.93, and I'm like, I completely hate this. I hate the idea of this loop, but I also like it because it provides some pretty good rolling hills. Especially when I get into the second half of that loop, it provides some really nice uphill rolling hills just to like kind of like further burn fat and build up the endurance there. But I wish it was just 7 miles fucking even. But that's neither here nor there. Friday was probably my best workout to date. I did have a 3K race planned, but that went by the wayside as I got called into work at 7 p.m. So talked it over with my coaches, and we elected for the workout earlier in the week. And this was actually a pretty tough workout. 2-mile tempo, 3x2K at 15K race pace, and 2-mile tempo with about 2 minutes rest between everything. And I think this was the workout where I finally kind of realized like my fitness has turned a corner. It's turned a major corner, I should say. So I tempoed out to the track, and I actually ended up finishing the loop on the track, as it was a little over 1,000 meters to the finish. So I just finished the tempo on the track, and then I reversed directions for the 3x2K, in which I did 10:32, which is 5:16 per mile pace for the 2-mile tempo out, 6:29, 6:29, 6:28, which is that was pretty much right on my 15K race pace of about 5:09 a mile, which is what is that? That's about 3:10 or 12 per K or something like that.
What was the pace you said?
It was 5:10 a mile, 6:29, 6:29, 6:28 for my 3 reps.
Yeah,
Oh,
3:15.
Is it
3:14,
3?
3:15. Well, it's half of 6:29, so.
Yeah,
it's
so
5:12. Yeah.
okay, so I was always coming around at the mile at like 5:09, 5:10. It was consistently clicking at 5:10, and I just had my watch set on 2K. So that like it was weird because you know how like your watch, if you use a Garmin, absolutely never lines up with the actual distance that you run, especially when you run in lane 1 for God knows how long.
Yeah, well, that's why I always set my Garmin, if I'm running on a track, to every second data recording. I don't know if you do that.
How do you do that? I'm gonna need to know how to do that. We can
Oh,
talk
you
about
want to know?
that.
You want to know right now? We can cut this out. Shreyas, cut this out.
Cut
I'm
it
so
out, yeah.
sorry. All right, all right. So
let
hit
me-
run. You don't have your Garmin on?
I was charging my Garmin actually.
Degenerate.
Fuck off.
Mine's at 94%. Get fucked.
All right, so
Okay. Hit run.
yeah, and then you go down to menu.
Hit down. Yep. Then hit up. And up again to go to settings.
Okay.
You found settings?
Yeah.
Hit up, and it'll put you on system, right?
Yeah, language, clock, backlight, sounds, units, format.
Data recording. Data recording, change it from smart to every second. Smart is every 10 seconds. It saves battery, so it's good if you're doing like runs on like roads. But if you're doing runs on a track, that's how you get it to look real. That's how I get it to look real smooth going around. Is that it records every
Okay.
second instead of every 10, and it'll give you more more accurate readings for the future.
Dope.
That's a good move.
That was
Alright.
smart. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I don't know why I found it out. I was like fucking around with it, like diving into the settings and stuff. I always do that with everything that I have.
Yeah, thanks for that. That's going to be helpful because I'm doing 1Ks on the track on Friday.
There you go.
2-mile tempo, 1Ks on the track, 2 miles.
Where were you at though? Oh, you're talking about
Yeah, we were talking splits.
Yeah.
So the workout, I averaged for the 2K reps about 3:14 a K, which turned out to be right around 5:10 a mile, which is every time I look down at my watch, that's what I was coming through in because I did some quick math in my head.
Quick maths.
Quick maths.
And
What's 2 plus 2 minus 1?
3.
There you go.
So the 2K reps are what I wanted to hit really hard. And this was actually a pretty difficult day to hit the track because I was getting wind to the face in the back straight. It was not easy at all. And I kind of feel like this had a major effect on my breathing, and that had a major effect on the back tempo, which was like 10:46, which is like, that's closer to my marathon pace than anything. But all in all, I thought that workout was really successful with how everything ended up working out. And I was absolutely stoked to make it through a pretty difficult workout.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
that sounds rough. How was your long run?
It actually wasn't too bad. Let me get back to
You did 17, right?
Yeah, I did 17. I did 6 miles easy on Saturday, right before my senior track awards banquet, in which I unexpectedly won runner of the year.
Oh, congratulations.
What the?
Yeah, I had the highest finish in school history. Well, not school history. Highest finish in school history since 2011, I guess you can say. In the 10,000 meters at the Ohio Athletic Conference Track and Field Championship in the 10,000. And that, along with the consistency that I displayed throughout my senior year throughout cross, indoor, and outdoor track, I believe that is what garnered me runner of the year alongside teammate and now 3-time All-American Kelly Brennan.
Who
She
now?
was Kelly Brennan. She was female distance runner of the year.
Oh,
Okay.
is she on your
Was-
team?
Yeah, she was All-American in the outdoor 800, All-American in the indoor 800. She was runner-up in the outdoor 800, by the way.
Wow.
And she also garnered her first cross-country All-American award this past Division III National Championship. Did
Okay.
17 solo on Sunday, which was awful. And I
As expected, probably.
I wasn't feeling it at all for the first like 3 miles or so. I was still kind of groggy. And then I kind of got into my roll. And as I got into my roll, probably by about mile 7, I'd say, is when I finally got back in my roll.
What
And
pace do you run that at?
I ended up just progressing down to close in a 550. I don't know why I decided to close in a 550. I just started feeling good towards the second half of this run.
What did you average?
I averaged 639.
Oh wow. There you go.
But that
Fucking baller.
was actually pretty solid. And
Sounds like it.
you remember that
It's why you earned Athlete of the Year.
Okay. So you remember that that point where I said that this 3x2K workout I did last Friday was where I kind of realized I made a major turn of the corner in terms of fitness.
Yes.
Everything I've done this week has shown it.
No.
Monday-
Oh yeah, because you were talking that your stride thing has shown progress, right? How does that show? How does that show the improvements? How do you interpolate that?
So I get the average wattage on the app. And
Well, yeah, but what? Just give us the numbers. How has it improved?
it hasn't said any improvement, but I've noticed every time I do tempos, my pace can be closer to 512 or 513, and I'm 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 watts higher than what my functional threshold power should be, which is 285. I'm averaging closer to 290 for the last handful of workouts, and it's creeping up ever so slightly. And with the numbers creeping up ever so slightly, the interesting thing when I open up the Stride app, the running stress balance is starting to go back closer to the blues and the greens, which is
That's
better.
closer to where it's threshold and easy, right? It's
Yeah,
upper aerobic.
That's closer to where it's saying normal, you're ready to take advantage of your fitness. Right now it still says I'm training heavily because I just got the Stride power meter at the beginning of this build up for Gasparilla. So I think where I'm at and what I have planned going forward in January and February, I'm going to be more than ready by then to take advantage of my fitness. And even with the runs that I've done and the workout that I've done so far this week, it's showing that I'm getting closer and closer to getting ready to take advantage of my fitness. I drove out to Sagamore Hills in Summit County on Monday to go to a different trail than I normally run on. Now this trail is set up more like a rail trail that connects the Cleveland
Is this a different one?
Metroparks. Yeah, this is a different
Is
one.
this a run this week that you did, or?
Yeah, this is Monday.
Ah, gotcha.
So
with the power meter, oh fuck. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh no.
Alright.
So does that mean you're running harder at the same effort, or if
That's
your
how-
wattage is going up or whatever?
that's how I interpolate it. And watching some of Evan's training and seeing what he writes in terms of what he has on Strava,
Is that how he interprets it too?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, okay.
he works for Stride.
Yeah. Evan, by the way, is Evan Schwartz,
Of the
host of the
1609.
1609 podcast.
This is on top of our weekly, hey, Salazar sucks. There's our weekly 1609 shout out. It happens every damn time.
I mean,
Okay.
he's my man, so.
Yeah.
And
speaking of our weekly Salazar.
All right.
Are we going?
Yeah, let's do it.
No, I want to.
I think Spence had his trail thing.
Oh,
we'll finish off the trail.
The new trail.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is set up more like a rail trail. It's like a paved trail, and I ran out and back on this. It was 8 miles where I got in under 50 minutes, which is averaging about 6:15 a mile. And my average power for that day, since I have the Stride app open, was only 247. And considering that I ran 6:14 a mile, I would say that's some huge progress if I can speak English properly. Tuesday was what I consider to be now one of my more bread and butter type of workouts. It was 2x3 miles at threshold where I knocked this one out of the park. I felt so good, even though the weather was
good too.
Oh God, yeah, I know. I was wearing split shorts and it felt like about 15 degrees.
Yeah, that's not something I'd be wearing.
Oh yeah, that was your biggest flex of the week, right? You decided to be a cold boy.
Yeah, and I mean, it paid off really well, didn't it?
Yeah.
So
I mean, you got a good workout in. That's what counts. And it's basically like a free cryotherapy session too. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I ended up averaging about 513 for the entire workout, 513.5, because my splits I had in 3 mile intervals, 1543 for the first one and 1540 for the second one. And the splits that I had on the workout were 518, 512, 513, 509, 516, 516. And given where this loop is, and there are some small rolling hills, it's not a completely flat loop. I'm pretty happy with this workout. I don't know if you look at Strava, I don't know if my goal adjusted pace for the second mile of the first rep really is a 4:57. I highly doubt that, because to me, in no way was I going up 50 feet in a mile. There's no way. But that's neither here nor there. Then today was Wednesday, medium long run, typically. This one is titled Nothing Like Overestimating Distance.
Is this the one where you walked, or?
Yeah, this is the one where I did 8 strides on the way back.
Yeah, so you overestimated by 2K because you didn't want to turn around earlier, and then you just look like one of those hobby joggers on the road doing strides and then walking for like 200 meters.
Yeah, well, I was also on the towpath. Luckily, only one runner passed me and a cyclist, but that was about it.
Oh, come on. You didn't flex on him, like keep up with them or some shit?
No, because the guy was going the other fucking way.
That's when you got. Well, see that.
And did you really get passed by him then?
No.
You said
you just
got passed by him?
No, we passed each other. I'm walking towards Peninsula. He's going out towards Akron.
Oh, I thought you said you got passed by, not you passed by. My bad.
Yeah, we just crossed paths. That's all.
Gotcha.
I, however, did get I wasn't completely comm hunting at all either. I got the comm for Quick Road in Cuyahoga Valley at 340 for a half mile, going pretty much straight up a hill. So just a random unknown course record where I go from 750 feet to like 900 feet in the span of about a half mile. So that was dope. And that was my week. 75 miles last week, and I am at 34 currently for the week.
Speaking of athlete of the year, Spencer Mahon's training. Are we just fuck it. I'm gonna cut this part out and then restart because that was just half-assed as fuck. Speaking of athlete of the year, Spencer Mahon's training, we got Brazier and Muhammad, who are USATF athletes of the year. Any surprises there?
I personally don't think there are any surprises.
No surprises.
Yeah.
Brazier did set the American record in the 800, so I kind of felt like that'd be a shoo-in. And then Dalilah Muhammad goes without saying, because I believe she broke her own world record at the World Athletics World Track and Field Championships, if I'm not mistaken.
Say that again?
Dalilah Muhammad broke her own world record at the World Athletics Track and Field Championships.
Yeah, she did that, and then she also won World Athlete of the Year. So
she broke it twice.
Yeah, once at U.S. Championships and then one at the World Championships.
She checked that list and checked it twice.
Yeah, so I don't really think there are any surprises there.
That was a Christmas joke.
What?
I said she checked the list and checked it twice. It was a pathetic Christmas joke, but I was hoping for a pity laugh out of one of you guys.
Yeah, you don't deserve that after how bad that was.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll grant you that.
Ha.
Yeah, I think the only other thing I think that was important about that was that Dalilah Muhammad's coach won Coach of the Year as well.
Who's the coach?
Unknown. That's why I was hoping you would just skip over that, but knowing that you're like the nitpicker specifics king, I probably should have considered it. Oh, it's Lawrence Johnson. Lawrence Boogie Johnson. He's the Nike Coach of the Year.
Okay.
He's my boy.
All right.
That's a really odd, like, running coach name. Just
I have
Boogie.
no idea who he is.
Yeah, I have absolutely no idea who
I was gonna say I don't know. I almost wanted to say he was Houston, but then I'm like, wait, that's Carl Lewis. But
did you think it was Carl Lewis?
For a second I thought it was Carl Lewis, and then I'm like, let me think about this really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
don't think there's anything surprising here.
No, there's absolutely nothing surprising for Russia being banned, because they pulled probably the biggest doping scheme that I've ever seen outside of the Nike Oregon project.
Yeah, once it's at like a state level, yeah.
Once it's at a nationwide level,
for quite a while.
Like it's really, really how the fuck do you not handle that? Like how? Like that's the only question I'd have to ask the Russian Olympic Committee. How the fuck do you let this happen? And why do you promote this?
Yeah, I mean, there's also the thing where I feel like they're just trying to establish some level of superiority, because I think there's probably definitely like some, on a historical level, there's probably like Cold War sentiments that feed into it, where they're just like, we have to be the best, we have to like put ourselves on a pedestal compared to other countries. But then there's also
no doubt there's some USSR bullshit in there.
Yeah, for sure. And then
some
I just find it interesting.
1980 Lake Placid Olympic miracle.
Insert the Russian national anthem right here.
yeah, I got you. And then I've downloaded like a bunch of instrumentals specifically to like clip them in as memes. But yeah, I think the interesting thing is going to be how specific independent Russian athletes are able to prove themselves as being untainted, quote unquote, because a lot of the evidence
because they have the
that they found was destroyed.
Yeah, they have the authorized neutral athlete thing. It's definitely, that's going to be what I want to see going forward, is how are they going to address that? And that goes for Sebco. How is he going to address the authorized neutral athletes for Russia or from any country that has been banned? Because I feel like Russia's not going to be the only one to do this, and maybe in the near future it's going to happen again with another country.
Yeah,
that would be the only thing like I look at, is how Sebco's people handle this, and I don't think it's going to be well. I don't know if he's going to necessarily like fluff it off, because he can't. because he is chair of that whole thing. Anything else on that?
Not really. I mean, like I said, beyond, like, there's obviously a bunch of shit that's going to come out of this, at least in terms of what is, like, going to define the scope of them being unbanned, outside of, obviously, the timeline, and then also how independent athletes are supposed to fix their own scenarios. But I just think, I think only time's going to tell us more about what else there is interesting behind the scenes about this.
And another thing that's interesting is that Russian President Vladimir Putin says the country has grounds to appeal against the decision. So I assume that will be what happens next.
Yeah, they can try.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to go well.
Just like Alberto Salazar can try.
Nice.
I mean,
see, the issue. Okay, you know what? We have to stop with this because every single time that we say "nice" to one of your actual good transitions, like, it just breaks up the transition.
I wasn't even transitioning. I was actually just making a comparison.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
But if you want to talk about Alberto Salazar,
I was gonna say we have nothing left on Russia, so let's talk about Salazar.
Sure. Yeah, there's a.
So all there really is that like, the Salazar building still exists on campus, and they were going to reopen it without a rededication. And so a lot of Nike employees, specifically the female Nike employees, are protesting this.
Around 400 of them.
Yeah, and earlier in the pre-show, Spencer mentioned something interesting where they could basically just, like, rededicate it to Jerry Schumacher of BTC, which would be an interesting move. I don't know what the whole requirements for dedication, rededication, or whatnot are, but I mean, just on a surface level, that seems a pretty good bet.
Yeah, it's about the perfect time to rename a building too when you're reopening it. So I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, if you also think about it, part of the reason I brought up Jerry is because of how he's built his program and the program, like, who the program has been built around. People like Shalane Flanagan, Carissa Schweitzer, Gwen Jorgensen. Like, I feel like Jerry would be the perfect candidate because his team has probably been the most consistent of the, well, now two Nike sponsored programs that are up there. And even if you look at it, I mean, I understand that Oregon Project had all the heavy hitters, Galen and Mo and Coco and Seguru Rosako and Donovan Brazier.
Folks.
So you had some fast fucking people. But I feel like if you go back in the results, Bowerman is about as consistent as they can come. Like, that team is gritty, they're tough, and they're as consistent as can be. So I feel like Jerry's the perfect candidate for this.
Yeah. Either him or Peter Bromka. Speaking of Peter Bromka, Bromka ran the California International Marathon.
That was tough to see, man.
That was a bad transition, but
no,
we're rolling with it.
That was tough to watch, like, and just read his posts. Like, I genuinely felt bad. Like,
yeah, for those of you who don't know, Peter Bromka is he's a BTC elite, right?
Yeah, BTC.
Well, not elite.
Well, he's not part of, like, the team that has Lamong and
but he's a BTC athlete.
He's like in the club a step down.
Yeah, he used to work for Nike, and he's worked. He's associated with the company because he's in BTC, but he doesn't work for them anymore.
Okay.
I know this because I listened to our weekly shout out for the House and Run podcast.
Those are our two damn podcasts.
They're so good. Both of them are so good. Anybody who listens to this podcast and doesn't listen to those ones, you're doing something wrong. Not gonna lie, but they interviewed him. It was really good. Everybody should check it out. What was I saying?
Which interview is this?
We were talking Peter Bromka, House of Run podcast.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So he doesn't work for them anymore. He does consultant work for like companies in marketing departments. I think now, like running companies.
Okay, so that's still very lucrative.
Yeah, like people who are like associated with like Outside Magazine, basically, or
Okay,
Outdoor
nice.
Magazine, something like that.
Yeah, one of the outdoor health
Yeah,
magazines.
but he's a
That
BTC
whole
guy
department.
who missed the Olympic trials qualifier by 2 seconds. He ran a 2:19:02.
Big grip. F in chat for our good boy.
But aside from him, there were a lot of
Oh God.
qualifiers. How many were there
Yeah.
for men and women, Spencer?
102. I mentioned that earlier.
67 women.
Yes, and 35 men.
Yeah. Of those 35 men, I'll just do my quick shout out. Former RPI alum, class of 15, Jake Andrews, ran 2:18:43, I believe. And yeah, he just fucking killed it. A lot of work went into it. He smashed
Jacob Andrews,
the hell out of his training. Just went in. It was fucking fantastic to see. Yeah, he did a really good job. That's all I got. There's nothing more to say other than goddamn, I fucking know an Olympic trials qualifier now. And
he had a really good group that was in that 218, 217 high ballpark.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys in there. And then we also got, again, I am not worthy of speaking of these people in anything other than the most deferential of terms, but Everett Hackett of Heartbeat Track Club also ran an OTQ. I only bring him up because I've talked about Heartbeat a lot on here because I have some friends on Heartbeat that know people on Heartbeat and whatnot. And so, yeah, he also ran his OTQ. And then my friend and ex-RPI alum, Grant O'Connor, he sadly did not. He had his debut, ran about 2:24, 2:25.
Still a hell of a time, to be honest.
Yeah, he was on pace through about 15, where he had some back issues basically, and it just didn't add up too great for him. But yeah, still for a debut, absolutely fantastic, and just completely killed it. And he's definitely going to bounce back a lot stronger. Once he gets one of those, once he gets anything above a 20-mile or 20 weeks of just consistency, he's immediately there. I think this time around he had a couple of hiccups in the road, and those affect him more than anyone I know. But yeah, he's just going to kill it next time. So looking forward to seeing how all these people do. Yeah.
Yeah, and fun note about Everett Hackett. Everett Hackett was the last American across the line to qualify at CIM.
Nice.
With the 2:18:53. There was a 9-second gap between him and Peter Bromka.
How did Lemon Jello do?
Lemon Jello, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, what was his first name?
Peter? I don't know. I'm guessing entirely.
No, that's Bromka. They surely can't have the same first name, right?
I don't know. Yeah, I think you're right. I think I just associated immediately with the last name I thought of that was out of the blue.
Oh, I'm doing some searching here.
If it's too hard, Spencer, we don't we don't have to.
Oh, I want to look for this because you guys brought him up.
Yeah. In the meanwhile, Tyler, do you have anything else on CIM stuff while he's looking for that?
What was the weather like? Because I did not see any pictures, believe it or not.
I believe it was mostly sunny, fairly pleasant. I don't know exact temperature numbers, but from all the pictures that I've seen, I think it was slightly overcast to start, and then it was partly cloudy/sunny for most of it. And yeah, CIM's a fast course, good weather. I don't recall seeing anything about headwind. But yeah, overall pretty good, I think.
Okay.
I didn't see anything on Lemon Jello. I don't have the numbers on that. I do want to mention Alicia Barno. He won in 2:13:36.
Yeah.
CJ Albertson was second with 2:13:40, and Patrick Smith was third, 2:13:48. I feel like Tyler has something to say about that.
I do not.
I thought you were gonna say, well, here's a couple more people to add to the list of people.
Oh yeah, people who can run between 2:11 and 2:15, and who can't run under 2:10 ever because they never do and they never will because. Yeah. Well, I mean, we all know this by now. It's getting old. That's okay though. Maybe one day.
I had to
Big
bring
sad.
it up. I had to bring it up.
Yeah.
It's a big sad.
I mean, I still have my top 3 that I think are gonna make it, or who are gonna
Yeah, now's as good a time
for
as
the
any.
Olympic
Who are
Trials. Really? Are you
Yeah.
sure?
I mean,
We
mine
have,
as well.
I think, 2
Because
months
I think
left,
we
don't
technically have to wait for Houston, but
I mean, we have Houston, but we have a very good idea of who's going to be there.
yeah, between like Houston and the Olympic trials, there isn't the largest gap in the world.
I mean,
I was
I've got
gonna
my
say
top 3
more-
set if Rupp is healthy, and I also have a
Yeah.
top 3 if Rupp isn't healthy.
Who are
Do
the 2 that stay in?
Um,
I feel like Jared's going to be in there.
Yeah,
no. He's
Jared
not.
isn't one of yours. Is Jared in
No.
your top 5?
Yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was
give me
gonna say-
give me 1 second. You can
This is
cut this.
actually a better
Yeah, you
time.
can cut
I was
this.
gonna say this is a better time to put in the mid roll than that shitty one, but since we talked
Yeah.
about it, I should put it in. I'll put it in back where I said we were gonna put it in, unless I just cut everything out. We'll see. Whatever. Fuck editing. What else did you guys talk about when I was in the bathroom?
You were in the
Was it just
bathroom?
CIM? Yeah.
I have no fucking clue.
We pretty much went straight into CIM.
Okay. Cool.
I can't find his fucking name because I'm a stupid son of a bitch.
Do you
The
want
guy
me
who
to
just-
just...
Leonard
Yeah.
Career. Leonard Career.
Okay.
Oh yeah, careers.
Well, I don't know why I couldn't. I had Jarrell Mock's name fucking stuck in my head.
All right, so Tyler,
Okay,
go
okay,
ahead
right
and
here.
2 lists of 3.
All right, yeah. So my top 2 that stay in for me, whether or not Galen Rupp is healthy, are Leonard Career and Scott Fauble. For some reason,
Oh,
I
yeah.
believe in Scott Fauble a lot more than I believe in Jared Ward. For literally
That's-
no reason at all.
That's fair. That's fair, but I see Fauble and Ward are like my 2 that are like tied because it was for me. It's career Rupp if Rupp is healthy, and then those 2. So I have the same setup basically, but
I feel like there's going to
I'm
be...
in between.
I feel like if Rupp is healthy, Rupp breaks away. And then it's going to be a pack of 4 going for those other 2 spots.
I think Rupp gets second even if he's healthy,
Ooh.
and that might be the boldest take ever. But
That is a bold take, and
if
I don't know about
find-
second. I think he's
enjoy
top
that.
3 for sure. If he's
Oh,
even
he's-
if I
decently
find
healthy.
somewhere to
If he's
bet on
healthy,
this,
he's
I
a
am putting
sure.
at least $20 on career winning.
If career's healthy or if
bold.
Rupp is unhealthy.
If I can find anywhere to bet on it, either way,
Wait. You're betting $20 on what exactly?
career placing first,
Even with Rupp being healthy?
even with Rupp being healthy.
That's a hot take that I'm
bold.
honestly not gonna bet against.
I would not
He
bet
is
against
fast.
that either.
Yeah,
And
because Rupp being healthy is like that's like a
he's in
12%
shape.
chance of that.
Yeah, I mean, well, Rupp. I mean, it's not even like he's not healthy. He's post surgery, so we don't even
Yeah.
know if he's going to be
We don't
back
know
down
what,
there.
I was going to say, we don't know
Ever.
what Galen Rupp we're going to get.
Yeah, he's older now. Like, you have a surgery that, how old is he now? 35, 34?
He's in his 30s.
Yeah.
I am not sure what.
Let
You
us
see.
find out.
He's
I will
33
fact check.
actually. He's not as old as I thought.
He's 33. Yeah.
But I don't know, 33, he's been running a very long time at a very high level. So you just never know how he's going to come back. I mean, he didn't look great in his last marathon. So I just think even if he's healthy, it takes a while to build up for marathons,
Yeah,
Career already has a fast marathon under his belt, and he's coming into this knowing he's in shape.
yeah, and I believe Career ran that in Amsterdam, correct?
You know better than me.
Yeah.
I think it
I'm
was
leaning towards Spence being correct, but that said, most of my gut feel judgment calls, I think, have been 50-50 on the show so
Mhm.
far. So I'm not going to make a fool out of myself by trying to put words in my mouth.
Yeah, and maybe it's just recency bias for Career, but I really
Yeah.
think he's the next
He's been fairly consistent. I mean, even if there's recency bias, he's been fairly consistent too.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. So I don't know. It's interesting.
I don't know. And that was his debut, so
Yeah, exactly.
that's serious business, dude.
Yeah. Big money.
No.
I think on the
whammies.
I don't know if we have anything else on that, but I just wanted to talk really briefly about the Abu Dhabi marathon.
Oh,
where-
wait, hold on. I want to
Yeah.
clarify that I'm not talking about the women's marathon, not because I don't pay attention to it, but because it's so open to me that I am not willing to make any predictions at risk of making myself look like an idiot.
Yes, it was Amsterdam, 2:07:56.
Yeah, that's very fast
I
for a
believe
debut.
I believe that's damn close to Galen's PR in the marathon.
1 second.
I think he's a 206er, yeah.
1 second.
Because Mo is a 205er.
He is a 206.07 in Prague.
Yeah.
But I don't. The thing is, I don't think you're gonna get that Galen Rupp, that 2:06 Galen Rupp.
No, of course not. It takes so long to build up for marathons. That's what I'm saying. That's why
It
I think
It for an elite marathoner, it takes, I think, about 12 weeks. Which
to
is
get
4
into
months.
Get into shape.
full marathon shape. That's 3
Yeah.
months. That's less than 3 months. No,
No, 12 weeks is 4 months.
no.
No, it's 3 months.
16 weeks is 4 months.
Do you want me to cut this?
No, I'll keep it in.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's so sad. Oh no.
Arguing
no.
about math. No, I did my math wrong. I'm a jackass.
Yeah. But yeah, sorry. Well, 12 weeks. I think wasn't it like Dathan? Didn't he do 12 weeks leading into Boston? So like I guess he's not wrong.
Did he?
Hot take. Yeah, because I mean, there
but he
were,
wasn't-
He's done. I think some people have done a 12-week turnaround and have been.
yeah, there were like a billion
moderately
articles saying that
successful.
Dathan was doing a shorter turnaround to Boston because every time he does a long one, he gets overeager
gets
and
injured?
injures himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a bunch of articles about him doing a short one, and the only time because there's no way he was doing like 8. So 12 seems like the intermediate number that was most likely talked about.
Yeah, but he wasn't post surgery, was he? He was just post injuring himself again. I mean, he's been like off and on injured. He didn't have to completely
Yeah.
stop like Galen Rupp did. Is the thing.
Yeah, that's true. Yes,
That's-
I mean, I'll grant you that, but
Yeah, that's why I'm a little iffy on the whole Galen beating career thing. And then I think
I
I
still
think
don't
if
think
Galen
you're
Rupp
gonna
is
get
healthy,
Galen
he can
100.
beat. No, I think if he's 90%, he can beat Fauble, but I don't know.
yeah, that's fair.
So,
It's a hot enough
So-
take.
I'm
For-
so excited.
so for the three of us, is career the overall favorite?
Yeah,
I would say yes. It's a bold take, and I really like this bold take. And my
I'm
other
gonna go
two,
as far as to say that it's not bold.
well, well, Rupp not winning is kind of a bold take in itself because he's been so dominant in terms of U.S. marathon running.
Yeah,
I don't think so because he's been injured.
Well, yeah, well now, but up until that point in time is
Sure.
what I'm getting at, because
Sure.
like you only get 2 marathons a year, so you only have like races once every like 2.5 months or so. So like there's not really much data for us to go off of. What I think is going to be a bold take is who I have in my top 3.
I want it.
yeah.
Give it to us.
So career, Ward.
Number 1.
Yeah, career 1, Ward 2. And I think Parker has another breakthrough.
Oh, I like that take.
That's a hot take. Welcome to the hot takes edition.
It's hard to bet against somebody who set the 25K,
Yeah, the
Record?
25K American record.
who has not gotten injured. It's hard to bet against them.
And
The
he
only
just had a
reason-
breakthrough in Chicago.
Yeah, the only
So
reason
if
I'm
he
not.
can stay injury free, I think he's going to be in really good shape to have a chance.
Do you want to know the honest reason why I'm not high on Parker Stinson?
Go for it. Oh, wait, I know what it is. It's a 210
Yeah.
to 213 club.
No, that's not it.
Really?
Shreyas, can you guess? Do you have a guess?
I got nothing.
I mean, I love Parker Stinson. He's one of my favorite runners to check out on Instagram. Every time I see a post by him, I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Tight as heck. He runs for Saucony. That's my honest reason why I don't
Molly
think...
Huddle runs for Saucony.
Yeah, but she's really fast. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know, man. I haven't seen Saucony's prototypes. And the Vaporfly and X% are very good shoes. That's I mean, and even the Hoka Carbon Rockets and Carbon X's. I'm not sure which one.
I think Carbon X's are more widely used by Hoka than Carbon Rockets.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because the Carbon Rockets have a 1 millimeter drop.
Gross.
That's no fun. What at that point? Just do 0 or 2. Why 1? I don't know. That being an odd number just frustrates me.
That's why I'm higher on
the Carbon X, I think, has a 5 mil drop.
Other people,
which is more typical of a Hoka shoe.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it might be 4. I can't remember. I think it's 4 or 5 or something like that.
Hoka's typically like 4 to 6, or like it's either like in that little pocket, or they have just a lot, or it's hugely maximal.
Yeah, and the thing is, Kellen Taylor, when she ran the 5th fastest American marathon time in history, she was rocking the Carbon X's.
That's a free advertisement right there.
So, I would say it, like the Saucony Endorphin, which is the prototype that Jared Ward and Parker Stinson have been helping Saucony work with.
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
I think you're gonna see, like, because they showed what appears to be the final version at TRE in Austin last week, I believe, after we recorded the podcast. And for those of you who don't know what TRE is, it's just the running event. It's, I think, single-handedly one of the biggest running conventions in the United States. And it happens every year down in Austin. So all the companies like Brooks and Nike will pony up to Austin. And this is where Saucony decided to show their Endorphin series of shoes, which is their plated shoe series, much to the same the new iteration of the Nike Zoom series is, with the Zoom Fly, the Vaporfly, Next%, and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So
it's on the upswing.
Yeah, and Brooks, from what I understand, they're going to be releasing.
They definitely have one.
It's the Hyperion Elite, and that's going to be dropping pretty soon, from what I understand.
That's what CJ Albertson was wearing during CIM.
Really?
Yeah. Well, they look the black edition of those that he's wearing look exactly like the ones that Dez was wearing.
Yeah, and I've seen the Hyperion Elites in person. I know, I know a couple of people who have the Des Linden style shoe that she wore at 2018 Boston.
Big money. You should just cop a pair.
I fucking wish.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what the price point is going to be on the Hyperion Elite.
It'll be high as shit.
I do, from when I watched the Running Warehouse video late last week on the Endorphin Pro, I think they said the price point is going to be around 180 or 200 or something like that. And that's going to be dropping in June. I wouldn't be opposed to trying it. The shoe actually looks really fucking dope.
It does, yeah.
It's got an all white racing upper, like this cyan blue color with this like yellowish orange neon striping on the midsole. And then it's got like a half black, half like pale orange neon Saucony logo just pasted on the side of that sucker.
Before we go completely off the rails, I kind of want to hear Shreyas's top 3.
Oh no, like I said, I was in line with you pretty much. It was career, Fauble, and Ward pretty much being right up there. I can appreciate the Parker Stinson hot take, but I'm on a great day. I'm looking at him in maybe top 5, but not top 3 necessarily. And then, yeah, I mean, I was a part of the rep discussion when we were talking about it, so I thought I had addressed it, so I didn't bother hopping back in on that.
I just wanted your definite top 3.
Yeah. For
so
me,
that we can look back on this.
Yeah, for me, straight up, with no rup, I'm going career Fauble Ward. And then with rup, I'm gonna agree that he's definitely 1 or 2 with career. I don't know if I'd go as far as to say that career has a definite win, because he's pretty good at a tactical race. He can throw down, and he's got more experience in it, so that's why I'm hesitant to say that. And then when it comes to defining a third, like, I'm comfortable saying that Fauble's going to be ahead of Ward if there's no Galen, but for some reason, when I have to decide between them for who makes top 3 and who gets eked out, like, I can't make a decision. I'm just, yeah.
You took the absolute safest route out of all 3 of us.
Yeah, well, that's how I tend to play it, so that's what it is.
YOLO.
Exactly.
Let's bring it back. Everybody who listens to this podcast starts saying YOLO again. You definitely won't get bullied.
You won't get bullied, and yeah, as long as you don't overuse it.
I think most of our listeners are in high school, so they may get bullied.
It's like high school and like low-end college. They're all goons.
Yeah, or they may have ran NXN.
There it is. Yeah, and NXN. I mean, there isn't much on NXN, really, is there? Nika Young's a fucking badass.
Yeah,
and Tui scrapes a 3-peat.
He ran a 14:52, just destroying the field from the start.
Yeah. He built his lead mile over mile, and then his fucking workout Wednesday today, where he ran 7 by K with 3 minutes rest, with all of them between 2:48 and 2:50, is just dumb.
And he was mad consistent at 2:48. I believe he spent like half the workout.
It was pretty much 2:48, 2:49, with most of them at 2:48. So yeah, that was just stupid. And then
Caitlin Tui scratches across a three-peat, which I believe that was the first time that ever happened at NXN.
Indeed, it was.
But it didn't go without a battle from Ohio's Taylor Ewert, who was narrowly second, and I can't remember who was third, but it was a damn close top 3 on the women's side. So I have to give the Ohio shout out to Taylor Ewert from Beaver Creek. She ran a phenomenal race.
Ohio gang, rise up.
Gang, 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 gang.
Says the one dude not from Ohio. Yeah, and then we got in other interesting news, though, we also have King Ches and Sharon Lokady from University of Kansas are now engaged. Congrats to the happy couple who will have incredibly fast kids, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's all there is on that. Where the Let's Run thread didn't have anything interesting or harassing that we could clown, so we just got to move on pretty much. And
I do want to clown the people in the Abu Dhabi Marathon who let the pacemaker go at 30K. And
say, we skipped back. Yeah, we skipped back over that. Yeah,
I do want to clown the fuck out of those people.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I don't know about clown, because I'm not about to clown anyone who's running anywhere under 210.
I mean,
but this man's he's like, I'm pacing, and he's like, all right, 30K, all right, no one wants to stick with this. I want the 100K for myself, and then just takes it.
I gotta find that race on YouTube and watch that.
Yeah,
I'm very interested to see the dynamic of how that race actually played out.
I think he did have the second fastest PR in the field going into it, so like it's not surprising. Tyler, you were saying something?
Yeah. How do you guys feel about like pacers who do that? Because I think it's hilarious, and they're totally within their rights to do it. As long as they don't have anything in the contract.
Yeah, most contract will either specify saying if you do it, either
you won't get the money.
Yeah, you either won't get paid. Well, I think it's either you won't get the rabbit money, but you get to keep the prize money, and then
who the fuck cares about the rabbit money when you get $100,000?
Well, yeah, But then I think there's also another potential stipulation where they'll say, all right, but we get X cut of the prize money.
I doubt it.
Is I feel that's the only way it makes sense, because otherwise I feel like a lot of pacemakers might, in most events, I feel like a fair amount of pacemakers might do that, especially at like the marathon or 10K level, when most of the pacemakers are already world-class athletes of their own. Whereas in shorter events, like I think like some 800 races occasionally have a pacemaker. Same with the mile, where most of those guys are just like really high level people who can maintain whatever championship pace is going to be through like 500 or 600, but they definitely can't like go for the dub that easily. So I think I'm sure there must be a stipulation like that, where if like one of them suddenly has like the race of their life, or if there's a world class athlete who could very easily finish the rest of the run, like potentially with them, like they're in the shape to potentially do it. Like there must be some stipulation that stops them from doing it. Otherwise, I don't see why you wouldn't take the financial benefit of just taking the prize money anyways.
Yeah, well, I feel like since they haven't talked about it being in his contract that he couldn't do that,
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and assume that he could.
Yeah.
Which is awesome, because now he has a pre-tax $100,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is hella nice, and that
super tight.
That means he gets a lot of money for the next year of training. Also,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Imagine going into the race thinking, I'm only going to run this amount of distance, and then getting there and thinking,
fuck it, I want to win.
I'm going to keep going. That's like, I can barely, like, if I'm feeling good at like 3 miles on my like runs, I have a hard time going any farther than that, because I had already set myself up to run 3 miles, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, it's like a mental thing. These guys run a lot though, so.
I mean, and
I'm sure he was peaking for it, you know? Or at least
maybe.
Maybe. You never know, actually. What were you saying?
But I mean, he gets a huge financial benefit for the next year's worth of training, which is
pretty
awesome.
much, yeah.
Like, yeah, like people at least in the U.S. don't understand, like, if a pacemaker goes and wins, and I mean, yeah, like he has his own contract for pacemaking, but if he gets X amount of money in prize money, especially if it's like a B-list major city marathon like Abu Dhabi is, that's still a big deal for a lot of these guys, because then they go back to their native country and they have more money to travel around and do higher profile races. Because one of my buddies, he actually was the Columbus Marathon champion. He runs out of the Toledo Second Soul. That's the shoe store that gives him like his shoes and a coach and a manager and stuff like that, and sets him up really nice in the United States, right? But he ran 2:15 and won, so he gets a cut of the prize money. He travels back to train in Kenya, then he'll come back into the United States, and Sammy is going to run the LA Marathon, I believe, in March. So
LA is hot. Even in winter, it's hot.
So, I mean, LA is still, for lack of a better term, a major city U.S. marathon.
Is it the Rock and Roll Marathon in LA?
No, I believe it's just it's LA straight out.
I was gonna say I'll just pop this in here because I just got the email. But from tomorrow on the 12th, so because this will be up tonight, but until 12 p.m. on December 12th PST, all rock and roll races for 2020 are like close to half off, and most of them are marathon registration is $69.
Nice, really nice. That's a good deal too.
Yeah,
because I think
you forgot to say nice. Is Tyler muted again?
Fuck! I might have been.
This dumbass coughs one too many times. All right,
But-
so rock and roll prices are all $69.
for marathon registration.
Nice.
And I
There it
believe
is.
that's what, at least 30% off.
This is why I mute myself.
It's close to 50%. No, it's fine. Well, I mean, come on. I think you dying like partially on the podcast is probably about the most entertaining thing that'll happen on here. So
But yeah, like that goes without saying. Like Sammy might run LA this year and then come back and run Cleveland, because that, I believe that's like a 12-week turnaround. And Sammy races a lot. And that means like he might race Columbus again and try and run like 210. That way he can get the prize money, travel back to Kenya, and then when he comes back, maybe he runs Grandma's or something like that, or runs like a stupid fast marathon and places really high in that. And like it's just like tier building essentially. You know what I mean? Like you build a foundation and then you build like the finer details of everything.
Mhm.
And soon it just comes to like this complete thing where Sammy signs a contract with a big company, i.e. Adidas or Nike, and he's fucking set.
yeah, pretty much.
But I mean, fucking good on Ruben Kipyego. That's fucking awesome. I love seeing pacemakers go and win races, because it's like it's an anomaly in the sport of distance running. So that's always fun to see.
Yeah.
College season actually has gotten underway. There are
BU
some
5K?
meets that are run. Yeah, BU 5K. I know Grand Valley has a big time meet.
It's honestly impressive to me that they have such a
everyone-
fucking quick turnaround from NCAAs and are just like, you know what, fuck break.
Yeah, and
Who
the
needs a
weird
break?
thing is about Grand Valley, people will go and race 5Ks off of their cross country fitness, very similar to BU, and they'll run stupid fast.
Yeah. Speaking of super fast, we got Taylor Warner, 15:11.
I believe that beats out the current collegiate record, or the old collegiate record.
It beats out the current collegiate record of 15:12 by Emily Sisson. But because she was unattached, she does not actually get the record because she wants to maintain eligibility for 2021, I believe. So, but yeah, there was some talk that like maybe it's almost better because Molly Huddle ran 15:01 on an oversized track. So ideally, if she saves some of that fitness and carries it over, she's pretty comfortably, like her 15:11 pretty much shows that she's in better than that 15:01 shape on an oversized track. So she comes back, she's pretty much gonna smash both of them when she's eligible next winter.
Big facts.
Yeah.
Speaking of Taylor Werner running unattached, Shreyas, you linked us a Let's Run
This
thread that
podcast is
talks
called
all
Unattached
about that.
Podcast. This podcast is brought to you by the Unattached Podcast. Speaking of unattached, that was the word.
Yeah, there's a Let's Run thread that talks about unattached athletes.
Yeah. So
Is there one?
yeah, there's this thread.
Yeah,
It's
there
in the
is.
rundown.
I'm clicking on it.
So there's this thread in Let's Run basically where they talk about how does anyone really believe that athletes are paying for themselves to get across the country, get a hotel, pay for meals, blah, 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 blah. And like the whole thing is kind of just like, well, let's be real. They're not really, but I think the entire process of being unattached, I think, is pretty much just like you are still technically running with the team, but you're just saving your eligibility. So I think at the D1 level, that's not like a big deal. I think at D3, it
At the
probably
D1
makes a
level.
difference because the resources
Yeah.
are limited.
Yeah, and there's
um,
only a certain amount of meets that you can go to unattached.
Yeah, exactly.
You
And
can't
then they
compete in the
also
big
had-
ones.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just like the huge ones that they're gonna go to inevitably. And then there's also like a bunch of talk about how like Spencer Brown did it a lot last season.
But
he
Spencer
pretty
Brown
much stayed
traveled
with family.
with his family.
Yeah, well,
I was
he
gonna say, he
stayed with
traveled
his
with
family.
his family to the meet.
Yeah. So like I get the differentiation they're trying to bring about here. I don't think it's a big issue because it's like, all right, whatever. At the D1 level, they already have a shit ton of resources, and the team in itself is not nearly as big as a D2 or D3 team. They pretty much have like their core 14 and then maybe like 6 or 7 more people at most for like a 20-person size team. And so like you're pretty much looking at a lot of resources being used for a smaller team compared to D3, where people are definitely going to care about that because it's like, all right, if you can't get there by yourself, we have resources worth only 14 people that we're trying to spread across like 30 kids.
People like I've been going through this thread. There are possibilities that, I mean, we don't know any of these families' backgrounds, maybe outside of Spencer Brown, because he documents a lot of his running life on YouTube. But a big part of that is his dad. For those of you who don't know Spencer Brown's dad, back in the 70s and 80s with the huge running boom, I think he was either an Olympic trials qualifier or damn close to it in the marathon.
Yeah.
But his dad encourages running, and he loves that his son is doing it, and he loves being a part of that part of Spencer's life. And that's fucking awesome. And someone in this thread, I can't remember who said it, and it said something to the effect of, not everyone is as broke as you. Talking to the person who started this thread, bitching and complaining about it.
Yeah, I think it's.
I mean, not that it's a big deal at the Division 1 or maybe even Division 3 level, because we've done different things for Division 3 level, and that
I don't know.
Those also completely comply with NCAA rules, and
because it all comes down to travel time too. I think their biggest thing with bringing it up was specifically with people from schools like Arkansas who are going to a Boston mini meet, which of course, like I get, it's one of the bigger meets, so they're making an exception for it. But it's like they're talking about the locality and like how close you are to the said meet, because like if like with Spencer Brown, he's basically in Georgetown, so like all of those those big meets are right next to him, basically. So yeah, I don't know. Tyler, what's your take?
I don't have one.
Oh, okay. I thought you were muted.
No, is that bad? I don't really have one.
No, that's fair, because I guess you never ran in college, right? So you don't really care. Like you have a completely outside perspective on this.
It's also really difficult to discern, like, especially at the Division 1 level, NCAA rules.
Yeah.
Because the rules are distinctly different across all three divisions.
Yeah.
And that is probably the biggest shit that bothered me when I was in the NCAA, because there are things Division 1 runners can do that I can't do.
Yeah. Like get free gear.
And while I understand the limitations, this is pretty much what I got. Every 2 years, we got cross-country spikes. We would get
that's whatever. We can skip
our
that,
rain
though.
jacket warm-ups, our pants. Like, we got a not a bro tank, but like a jersey top tank that we would race in like the first meet of the year, because we have the idea of like earning our stripes, or like in this case, like earning our jerseys, and like that's kind of how we look at it. Like we would always go to the first meet, and we would race damn hard. And keep in mind, we're just wearing like plain white tanks with a big B on the front of it, just like saying, "Oh, we're the Yellow Jackets," and that's about it. So
big Tin Man vibes right there.
Yeah, like that's essentially what our program prides itself on. At least that's how it was when I was in college.
Mm-hmm.
And the girls took to it really well, and so did the guys, because my senior year, I think it was my senior year, we didn't have a great day at our first meet, and our coach looked at us and he's like, "What the fuck, guys?" Whoop, my bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's
you're
like,
clipping them. We might want to give it a second, to be honest. Go ahead. I was just trying to reset.
So we had a bad day. Yeah, makes sense. So we had a bad day at this first meet, and our coach when we come through the finish of the 4-mile race, he looks at us and he's like, guys, what the literal fuck was that? You're going to have to do a hell of a lot better to earn these jerseys. So we went to the next meet, which was at the University of Akron. We show up in brown shorts and our white practice tops, while the girls are in their, brown bun bottoms and their split top jerseys. And we're like, all right, we're going to have to run really fucking hard. We're going to have to run really fucking if we ever wear those jerseys.
Yeah.
So, I like that idea that was the basis of our program. So we get that, and then we get a long sleeve and a short sleeve because with Ohio, it's
you gotta get that winter gear, man. Come on. Yeah, you can't fuck around with that winter gear.
I mean, the long sleeve is technically like our late fall, early winter warm up, along with our yellow jacket and stuff.
Yeah, you got. Yeah,
and then of course
we got
we
a
get
fancy
trainers from the school.
Those are lit. I wish we got equipment that was that
and
nice.
Of course,
we got some that was really good though, so it works
out. Hold on, I got a chess iMessage. How the fuck are we talking about race uniforms?
Oh, because we're talking about, I believe Spencer's talking about the difference between what D1 gets and what D3 gets. So he was talking about his team.
Yeah. So we get our little practice tank.
I apologize because
jacket,
me saying that doesn't make for good podcasting, but it does keep me in the conversation. So whoever's listening,
Tyler needs
shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Between what I got at the Division III level and what fucking Oregon and Arkansas and Brigham Young and Akron and all these D1 schools, and I'm gonna mention that Akron's a Division I mid-major. I personally know a lot of people who run for the University of Akron, and this is not a knock on them at all.
Yeah.
What the
they're Division I what?
They get a duffel bag. They get a Division I mid-major, so they're not Power 5 school.
Does that mean they're not big, or?
I don't know what the fuck that means.
I don't know what that means, man.
It means middle of the road type of Division I.
Okay.
So when I say Power 5, Big 10, ACC, SEC, Big 12, Pac-12, those are your Power 5. They're not any of those 5. They're in a conference called the Mid-American Conference. I know a ton of people on this team, and I know a ton of people who run in the Mid-American Conference. This is not a dig on them at all, but it's just they get a double bag full of gear. And then, Oregon and Arkansas get, fucking suitcases full of gear.
Yeah.
It, my point is, what the fuck?
They get a shit ton of stuff.
I think your point is that you're jealous?
It's finances. It all comes down to finances, so.
Yeah.
They're bigger schools.
Whole finance thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they have a larger scale to work with, of course.
Yeah, and it bothers me even division there's some Division III schools that have they get Division I treatment and
yeah, that happens.
I can't stand that.
So you're upset that they can run unattached, or what?
No,
I feel like I'm missing something.
It's the gear thing. It's the gear thing.
Oh, we're strictly talking about gear right now?
He's very strictly on the gear.
How the fuck did we? Okay.
That's where I was. But what? Here's the caveat to all of that. What we didn't get in gear was made up for in traveling, a huge travel trip. And then, regionals and nationals. Well, nationals for the women's team. And regionals for the guys. It was made up, in terms of, I got to race against schools like Conn College and Williams. Shit like that. We got to go to some really cool places. Much like like these Division I schools traveling to Lehigh to run the big cross meet at Lehigh, or traveling up to Minnesota and running Roy Griak, or running, at least at high school level, running at Mount Sac.
Yeah, because they get high school level have those cool shit too. Quite sad.
Yeah, and
big sad. I don't know.
Yeah, I got to run on like
is that our rant? Is that the end rant?
The slash
end
rant.
That's like my little, I guess, rant for the month.
That's your fucking moose on the loose right there, Spencer.
I'm gonna reverb the whole thing. That way it just sounds good. You just sound really pissed.
Wait, how long was that? Like 9 or 10 minutes long?
I don't know, but it was great.
I didn't know it bothered you that much, Spencer.
We gotta care. At the D3 level, we gotta care, man.
You guys do care.
Yeah.
You guys care a lot more than I do, that's for sure.
Yeah. And it didn't well, though. Do you have anything else, Spence? Or are we...
I was going to hard segue into the Let's Run threads.
I was going to say, and that, that's another thing. There are people, in Division III who are Division I level athletes and step down, and they get these experiences. Yeah, and then, they get, this royalty treatment where, Shreyas and I are, your number 5 or 6 on a fucking, 8th or 9th.
That was not where I was, but yeah.
But, I mean...
Wait, what were you,
for lack of a better term,
But yeah.
What number were you on your team?
Oh, I was an alternate for my first 2 years, and then I was not on the team the second 2 years.
Why?
Because I think senior year I was pretty much just flat out of shape. I just did really shit on the day of the time trial, which is just the worst L I could have possibly had. Yeah, no, I just did really bad. The
time trial is what they cared about? Oh, come on, man.
Well, yeah. Well, no, but admittedly, they would have cared about it. They wouldn't have cared as much if I had made it junior year. Junior year, I was just genuinely out of shape, and I'd gone to India a month before for a relative's passing away, and I couldn't train during that week, and that just killed everything. Yeah, so I was literally dead last that year in the time trial. So I can't be pissy about it because I ran poorly and I wasn't on the team the year prior. So even though I did fine in track, it doesn't justify them needing to have me back. Plus, a lot of the freshmen were doing really well. So a comfortable amount of team were under the standard too. So I think I ran 17 low, I think, and the standard was 16:45. So I can't pretend to be pissed about it. It's entirely justified. I'm only pissed at myself for racing poorly on the day.
I didn't know RPI had time trials to get on the team.
Oh, dude, we don't fuck around, dude. He's I think last year he almost had to have people that were kind of allowed to train with the team, but almost not actually race because they were under the standard. But the thing was, they were under the standard, but they were the 30 or 35th person under the standard. So yeah, there's a lot of fast kids that show up to RPI. So some of them end up just pretty much having to stay on the track team, or just train long distance track year round because we just have too many guys.
Understandable.
Jesus
That's
Christ!
a problem. But yeah,
Ohio Northern at one point.
Let's save the D3 discussion for later. I want to get to the clowning because we're almost done. I want to get to the clowning because let's have some fun shit.
I want to talk about this girl who ran a 14-year-old.
Oh, this is fucking
We're skipping the clowning, yeah. So yeah, it's a 14-year-old girl.
This is fucking gross.
Who? Yeah, Tyler, why don't you take this? Because you're reading it right now. I might as well. Well, yeah, come on, give us the breakdown.
Just take it, Tyler.
Podcast it up.
She's 14 and she ran a. Okay, so she's ran a 16:49 5K, which that's all well and good. That's really fast. By the way, her name is
Kate Peters.
What? Kate Peters?
Yep.
Let's throw that out there right away. Her name's Kate Peters. She can run a 16:49 5K, and she ran a half marathon in 1:16:56.
That's 20 seconds slower than
me. Do the math. That's 5:53 miles.
14 years old. How fast is that per mile?
It's 5:53.
5:53.
I'm going to throw up everywhere.
Yeah. It's pretty wild.
Everywhere. I'm puking.
I think every day this week I've closed a run with my last mile being at that level of pace.
So she's basically a pleb,
And
is
that's-
what we're saying here.
She's faster than Spencer.
No, I'm saying like I'm saying like
I bet she tempoed
that
it
it's
too.
damn hard to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. And then she ran a
that's
9:55 2-mile.
I do.
Yeah.
I want to clown the fuck out of someone who wrote.
Yeah,
"Oh,
but okay, before you clown that though, just because I do think he's slightly justified in one part of what he said, but also the 9:55 was only 10 seconds ahead of the second place finisher, and they have a separate link to that in the Runner's World article where it seems like she was pretty much just like sitting kicking, like she wasn't going all out. So
I mean, if you're that fucking fit, all you need to do is just sit and kick.
yeah, exactly. So I'm just saying like the 9:55 in itself I think is soft. So
Definitely. Yeah, I was looking at that and I was like, how is that slow?
yeah. So it's just.
But I mean, we don't.
But yeah,
We don't know
have
our
one
mile
thing.
PR. Apparently, it doesn't say it in here.
So I think Spence wants
I
to
do want-
clown this one dude called Pete and Repeat. And Spence, go ahead.
Yeah, so he says, "Here we go again. A young girl runs 60 miles per week, and her parents say she just loves to run. Sometimes we just have to tell her no, which is understandable. I know this kid, and she's very earnest and dedicated, but she's all mileage and no speed. With a 1:16 hash, she should be running a 9:20 and not a 9:55.
That's not how.
That's not how it works.
That's not
this
how
shit works.
people who. I mean,
That's the shit that I want to clown. I mean, she might be all mileage and no speed. She might be my breed of distance runner, which is more slow to anything.
sure.
But fitness is fitness, dude. Like, I just want to clown like how ridiculous a statement. Oh, she should be running 9:20 and not 9:55. Number one, track season hasn't come around, and she probably ran this because this was off the heels of a cross country season, and I got like fucking 2.5 months to sit around and do fuck all. I might as well run a half marathon period and see how it goes. That's a 1:16. What I want to clown is that's off of last year's track fitness, I'm assuming.
And also,
You
fitness
can't base-
doesn't equal
you can't base this.
track times.
Exactly. You cannot base what she should be running. Well, number one, you're using a fucking calculator, so I just want to clown you for that. And you also can't base this off of last season's track times because that's also a fucking farce in itself because that's last season's track time.
Yeah.
She very well could have made jumps in fitness. Like, I'm logically just clowning the fucking hell out of this guy. I also want to clown another giver of +1. 14 is too young to be racing half marathons and running 60 miles a week. Obviously, he loves running, but why not race an 8 or a 15 and do other sports at that age?
Yeah.
It's her choice of what fucking sport she does. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's all that needs to be said there. It's her fucking choice. And you're
She is
just
crazy
saying
fast
no,
though.
Yeah. For 14,
Exactly.
it's impressive.
It's damn impressive, and I love this story. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And there are other people who are also clowning another giver of +1, saying why is 14 too young and this and that. But that's pretty damn awesome. I just have to say that's fun.
Yeah, she won the. Well, I mean, also that time won her the Junior Olympics, right? 9:55.
Yeah.
For the 13-14 age group, won her the Junior Olympics, which means that she didn't have to run any faster than that to win. It could have been a sit and kick race. You never know. Even in 13 to 14-year-old girls' races, she could have just sat and kicked.
Yeah.
What I think is interesting is that her dad works at Nike, and she has access to all of their like facilities and stuff, which is cool. They said specifically the spinning classes in here too, along with all the other stuff. But that would explain, like, spinning classes as well would explain her seemingly unbelievable aerobic base. So it's kind of, it doesn't make any sense to say, oh well, she only ran a 9:55.
Spinning classes, that's fucking genius.
Yeah. So, like,
60
miles a week and spinning classes, crazy. I do agree that a lot of people, not everyone, a lot of people only have a certain amount of, like, either time or, like, miles that they can run without, like, starting to break back down in their life, Like,
Yeah.
everybody likes to say, like, for pros, like, you got a 10-year window, stuff like that, of, like, running well, and that's why Alan Webb didn't do great when he was like 27. Maybe. I mean, there's only one way to find out, though. And better to be good early than never. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I
mean, might as well build up, get that long aerobic foundation down. But yeah, in the meanwhile, on another female-related running incident, that's actually terrible. But basically, there's this person from the one of the rock and roll marathons of some sort, where this lady is reporting on it, and I'm sure everyone's seen this because it's big in running news. Where this guy, like this old dude, runs by and smacks her ass, like as he runs by, and like she's clearly just like, what the hell is going on? But Twitter did its thing. They found his bib. Yeah, they found his bib number. They found out who he was. His Twitter is now private. I think he has a second one. They also ousted his Facebook, which I feel a little weird about, just because. But at the same time, he's a dickhead.
I love it.
But turns out I need to find the official thing again. But I believe it said that he's some sort of like youth group leader and like Boy Scout leader.
Not anymore.
So he's being a great fucking role model, and basically he's just a dick. But we always love the running community coming together to destroy objectifying piece of shit.
A dickhead like this.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, this was so good.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this thread. I think this gets thread of the week.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a hobby jogger.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Anyone else got anything?
No, I'm very happy right now.
Indeed. I think that's a great note to end it off on.
This is a good place to end. Oh, God, I love the running community.
Sometimes we suck, and sometimes we do shit like this.
Yeah.
You never know which one you're going to get on any given week.
Yeah.
Looks like this week was a good one, though.
Ending on a good one. I mean, you had me just like lambasting some people.
Yeah.
And me just going full-born fucking moose on the loose about Division 3 versus Division 1 shit.
You're like robot slowing down right now.
Yeah. I don't even have to
That's why I'm
audio
laughing.
effect this. It's just naturally doing it.
This is amazing.
Oh, well, I mean, like some days or some parts of this podcast, you have me just being so happy that there's this whole thread about this dickhead youth leader, and some parts you'll get me lambasting people for ripping unattached Division 1 athletes for whatever reason, or you'll get me lambasting people comparing Division 3 Division 1 and all this. I think you saw everything in this podcast.
Yeah.
I think so too. I think we got everything. And
so
I think that's how we're going to end it.
In terms of training. What are we looking forward to in training? I got 6x1K on Friday with 2-mile tempos before and after.
I'm looking forward to being healthy.
I'm looking forward to doing nothing in Atlanta for a little bit and killing myself in about an hour at the gym. I need to edit this fast, otherwise I'm not going to get gym time.
Good call.
Yeah. All right, let's go, Spence.
All right, that being said, Thanks for listening to episode 7 of the Unattached podcast. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many other fine streaming services. I'm Spencer Mahon.
I'm Shreyas Sriram.
And I'm Tyler Bowman, not muted this time.
Dweed.
And we'll talk to you guys in the
No,
next
that's a
mile.
1609
Have a
thing.
good
We
one.
can't do that.
Oh,
We
is
can't
it?
do the air horn.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
they do
Sorry.
that.
Okay, I'll cut it.
They do
put it
that and
after-
finger guns. They go pew 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 pew.
Yeah, okay, I'll cut it after Spence gives us the proper outro.
And we'll catch you guys in the next mile. Have a good one.
Pew, 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 pew.
No, that's a 1609.
No, that's not. That was pews. That was finger guns this time.
Yeah, they do pew pew pew. They do that.
Oh, I thought you said do pew, pew, pew instead of the air horn.
No. They do that and air horn
Ah,
sometimes.
shit. Okay, fine.
Of